Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do a couple of Valentine's cards. Happy Valentine's Day. Wanted to get this up before then, but just things didn't let this happen until the last minute here. So I'm going to be using a variety of products from the Simon Says Stamp February 2020 card kit, as well as some other Valentine's products that I had purchased separately. So this is the Tumbling Heart stencil, and I'm just using a little blending brush, and I'm going in with some spun sugar. I'm working on my Make Art station, which I really love for doing stencils. The magnets hold it down great, and they're not that hard to work around. And so it just makes it quick and easy to do your stencils. So I did a little spun sugar, and then I decided I wanted to do a little dimension to the hearts. And so I took a smaller brush and added just a little bit of picked raspberry to the bottom side of the hearts. And it was a little hard on some of the smaller hearts. They basically just kind of became picked raspberry, but that's okay. Then I went back with the spun sugar and just kind of blended it out, and I really liked how it looked after that. I thought it came out really well, and I liked having the little dimensional hearts from the stencil. It was quick and easy, and I think it gave a really good impact. So I'll just trim that down to go on the front of my card. I am actually making 3 cards today. I filmed the making of 2 cards, and then you'll have a bonus card at the very end that I'll show a picture of the front and the inside of those cards. I'll have the products for all cards linked down below if you're interested in any of these products that maybe you'll catch on a sale after Valentine's Day, and you can just put it away for next year maybe. Or some of these things you can always just do a love card any time of the year for the love of your life. So that's always a thing to do as well. I'm taking this die that came in that card kit to give the 3 windows, and I will use the little shaker, what are those things called? Shaker pouch. It's the trio shaker pouch from My Favorite Things that goes along with this die. And I'm just using score tape to go around the outside edge because it's very aggressive and very sticky and tape, and you want to make sure that your shaker pouch stays in line. So there's my card base. My card bases are 110-pound Neenah Solar White, although my second card that I'll do is a craft card base. So I cut some more of that pattern paper just to put at the top and bottom because I said I was doing a 5x7, and my stencil doesn't do a full 5x7, so I just decided to trim it out with this other floral paper, and I thought it turned out really pretty. I wanted the background of my shaker to be the hearts, and so I just temporarily put a little tape on to keep that piece in place, so I could just piece those back in and glue them back in so they'll be right in the right spot. And so I'm going to take off the liners for the score tape, and I'm going to fill it with the little sprinkles that came inside of the kit. They're buttons galore and more sweetheart embellishments is what they are. And I'll use my little Nuvo scoop to just scoop a couple little scoops in there. And then, I don't know, I wasn't really thinking this card all the way through. I was feeling the pressure, and I was just trying to get this done. So I did make a few mistakes on, things I wanted to do. I actually wanted to use the window frame stamp set on the outside of this, but once I put the shaker pouch in, that was not going to happen. So anyway, and I wanted to make sure I got the background, lined up just right. So I decided to take just a clear piece of plastic. This is actually a piece of packaging, and I put it on the back to hold the shaker pieces in place. And then I was able to, look through and get those squares lined up just right. So what's been happening? Where have I been? Well, we decided to go down to Florida, to Daytona, because my husband's oldest son that's on the race team, he was doing the 24-hour Le Mans race down there. He was on the pit crew for a team. So we decided to go down there and be in town for that. My husband went and watched the beginning, and then we all went and watched the end. You don't want to sit there for 24 hours. No. That's not fun. But anyway, we got some friends that live down there, and they live right on one of the channels. So we got to take the boat out, and we were boating around on the international waterway thing down there around Ponce Inlet. And so that was a lot of fun. We ate a lot of great seafood, which was awesome. I love seafood. So that was fun. So that was one weekend. And then the next week we went to not Florida. That was Florida. We went to California. So we went from coast to coast. And we were in Sacramento was what was it called exactly? It was a symposium for wine and grape growers and all that kind of stuff. It's like one of the biggest shows for that industry. So we decided to go out there to get a few more resources for things like corks and bottle capsules and glassware, and just to check it out and see what was going on in that scene out there. And we went out there a few days before the symposium, and we went with my husband's class. He's taking enology and viticulture at Grayson County College in Denison. And so some members of his class and professor were going out there too. And they set us up with some really awesome wineries. We seen some fabulous places, and we tasted some even more fabulous wines and food pairings. Oh my gosh, the food pairings were just crazy out of this world good. It was some of the best bites and wine that I'd ever had. It was great. But we were gone for 5 days, 5.5 days, something like that. And then when we got back, it was my son's regional meet that weekend. And so, we left on a Saturday and we got back on Thursday night, late. I think we got home at like 8:30. So, back to the card for a second. I wanted to put some sayings on the front of that card because my die cuts didn't fit right. Didn't like how that looked. So I wanted to put some sayings from this stamp set called Love Always. It's from Simon. I think it came out last year. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to emboss it in white or if I wanted to emboss it in gold. So I just decided to do both, and whatever I didn't use, I would just put in the stamp set and use it some other point in time. So I stamped them both, and the gold is a Nuvo glitter embossing powder called Gold Enchantment, and then the white is just Ranger Superfine Detail white embossing powder. That's my go-to for white. And so I melted that and everything, and so then I decided what's the best way to glue this down. So I got out a piece of stick it paper and I put stick it on the back of it so it's one solid sticker, and then I just trimmed it down, and so then you don't have any weird glue lines or anything like that. Anyway, so that's what's going on the card right now. Anyway, so it was his regional culinary pro start meet, and on that Saturday, so Friday they have to go and do their check-in with their food and everything, and they get their competition jackets and all that kind of stuff. And so Saturday is competition day, and so we went, and they struggled a little bit. They got behind, then they'd catch up, and then they got behind, and they struggled to catch up again. They have a 20-minute setup time and then a 60-minute cook time. And if you're not familiar with Post Art, haven't been following me, what it is, it's a high school cooking competition where they have no running water and no electricity. So they cook on these butane burner little gadget things, and they have a station. There's a station out in the middle. There's competition tables all around the edge, and then they're in the center. They have hand washing stations, and so they have to break. And it's basically two 8-foot tables put in an L, and they have to bring all their stuff in on carts and then in coolers. And so if they, need water for cooking with, they had to bring that in. They had to bring ice in. They need ice. They have a little makeshift oven that they put on top of their little butane burner if they need to cook something in an oven. So it's just wild to watch. These kids, they're high school kids, and the dishes that they put out look like any fine dining restaurant that you'd go to. I mean, it's just amazing what they do. And so like I said, our kids they struggled a little bit. They actually went over time by like 20 to 30 seconds. It's a 1/4 point deduction for every 30 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when competition's close, it can mean, winning and losing. So they were pretty upset. And, then they went in for their judging, and there was a lot of critiques from the judges. So they were pretty down, and was really worried about moving on. In Texas, there's 2 regional meets, one in Frisco, one in Houston. And the top 6 from each move on to state. And then the one that wins state moves on to nationals. Last year, our kids won nationals. And so Leighton was the manager on the team last year. And this year he is one of the kids cooking. So, he really would like to have some more wins with him on the cooking side, versus just managing. But he did an awesome job at managing. He was really good at it. Anyway, so finally came time for they cooked at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and awards wasn't announced until it's after 4:30. So long wait, grueling wait. You're watching all the other plates come out, and you look at them, and you look at them next to yours, and you're like, how does ours stack up? It's just a lot of pressure and everything. And there was this one team that, we were sure that theirs was probably better than ours, and a couple more that was right there. And then, with the being over the time and the critiques that they got back, they were just really worried. But they were the national team, and so I think that the judges gave them more critiques just to make sure that they get better moving forward. So and yes, they did move forward. They 6th place was announced, 5th place was announced, 4th place, 3rd place, 2nd place was announced, and it was the one that that I was almost sure that was better than ours. And so then I was like, oh crap, they didn't make it at all. But no, they actually won it all. So that was a pleasant surprise and a wake up that they got some things they got to fix and some things they need to adjust. And so they've got about a month to get ready for state. State, it will be in the weekend of March 27th. So that was exciting. And so then this week, that was last weekend. So this week I had doctor's appointments, and my son's car needed fixed because when we were in California, he had a flat, and So I had to take that to that was a whole day. That was a whole freaking day dealing with that. And the house, oh my God, needed to be cleaned. And I just couldn't get around to my projects until yesterday. So now I'm putting together the video and blathering to you and talking probably way too much and not enough about the cards going on. But right now I'm just doing the inside. Love my little sidekick. I use that little thing all the time. It's just so easy. These little hearts, they're lacy hearts. They are by Lawn Fawn, and they have a little piercing detail, and you can get most of them out if you just run your fingernail over them, your thumbnail over them, and they'll just pop right out. And there's about 2 or 3 on each one that I had to use my craft pick and get it to poke on through. So those were the squares that came from the die cut on the front. So I decided to use a strip of the pattern paper, and then I put the squares on at a diamond. I did the top and the bottom, and then centered the middle one between the top and bottom, and that way you get good spacing if you do it like that. And then I put the heart on top of the square, and then I'll come back over it with some clear shimmer stuff. The Spectrum Noir one, I think, is the one I used on that. Put my XO on it. This is my son's card, and the shaker card was my husband's card. And then the bonus card is my oldest son's card that I sent to him. I also used the Spectrum Noir there on those hearts on the front, just to give it a little bit more sparkle. I try to make them as masculine as I can for, them, but I got to add a little sparkle. Can't help it. Just that kind of sparkly. But anyway, I hope you didn't mind my ramblings. I hope to see you real soon in the next video. I've got a birthday card I did for my sister using some Art Impressions products and some things from the Simon Says Stamp January card kit. So that one will be coming real soon. And I hope y'all have a great Valentine's Day. Bye.